A very good morning to all of you students. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic from your point of view of examinations for the paper management process and organizational behavior. The topic's name is CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility. It can otherwise be understood as SCR, Social Corporate Responsibility. Now both SCR and CSR are one and the same, so do not get confused in terms if sometimes the word is used as CSR and sometimes it might be used as SCR. Now, what is a business composed of? A business is composed of the business ecosystem, like the entire number of people who are actually working inside the company or who are directly affected by the entire company. That is the business ecosystem. It consists of people who are the employees, who are the employers, who are the people who are around that particular company, working with that particular company. And the third one is the environment. Now, most of the times when we're talking about businesses, people have an understanding that business is composed of just two parts, which is the business and the people and the immediate business ecosystem. What people do not realize is there is also an environment which gets affected by the operations of the company, and this is where the CSR part comes in. Now, if we look at economist Milton Friedman, he used to say that the social responsibility of business is just to make profits. That was a thought that was prevalent in the 1960s. That was a thought that was prevalent in the 1950s, when we had not done much damage to the environment, when we had not created disbalances or disequilibrium in various kinds of resources. But the pace at which the economy is growing, the countries are growing, the production is happening, the pollutants we are creating, so we have a social responsibility towards business in today's date, much more than that was available, that was expected in last 50 years. Now, what Milton Friedman used to say is that in a free society there is one and only one social responsibility of business. This is a talk that has happened in the 1950s. There is only one social responsibility of business: to use its resources and engage in activities designed to increase its profits, so long as it stays within the rules of the game, which is to say, engages in open and free competition without deception and fraud. So fraud and deception will not be considered, but the social responsibility of business earlier was just to create profits for the shareholders. That was the only purpose of a business, to exist. But now things are changing. Now we have understood that there are three P's in the entire spectrum when we're talking about a particular business. It consists of people, the planet, what impact we are having on the planet, what impact we are having on the people, what impact we are having on the profit for the shareholders, profit for the stakeholders. So these three parameters are very important. So companies have started in today's date measuring their performance across the three parameters. That is called the triple bottom line. So whenever a company's performance is considered either by the government or by the individual company themselves, they consider three parameters, three pillars on which the entire performance of a company is judged by others in today's date. The first one is social. What is the impact that the company is having on society? What is the impact that the company is having on its employees, on its consumers, on its suppliers, on its buyers? So these are the people who get impacted by the particular company. So what is the impact that is created, the company is creating for these people? What was last year's number and what is today's number? So they keep on comparing. How have we improved on the social parameter? Number one. Number two is, how are we performing on an environmental or a planet based particular model? How are we ensuring that the environment that we are degrading because of the production happening, because of the raw materials being taken from the environment, from the earth, and how are we giving it back to the particular environment? How are we making our growth and profits sustainable? How are we repaying back the environment? We are taking some things. Suppose a particular company is in steel manufacturing. It takes the raw material from the ground. So what is it doing to replenish that particular ground? If it is cutting trees, what is it doing to replenish those particular trees, to replant those particular trees, afforest those particular trees? What are the companies doing on that front? That is a parameter that is being judged in the environmental or the planet part of it. And the last one is the profits, because profits are also important. Some people have put in their hard-earned money into the business. Some people are investors and they have tried to make the business go from profits this percent to profit that percentage for an expectation, because nobody wants to invest in a business for a loss. Everybody wants profit. So the businesses must also be profitable, but these two concerns and the environmental part has come very recently into the triple bottom line and is being pursued by companies across. Now this particular concept of triple bottom line was developed in 1994, and the expectation was that the business or the organization must not just be responsible to the shareholders, who are the actual owners of the company, who own shares in the company, but it should also be responsible to the stakeholders of the company. Who are the stakeholders for a company? Stakeholder is a bigger and broader term. Stakeholder includes shareholders. Stakeholder includes the employees of the company, the consumers of the company, the suppliers of the company, the buyers of the company. Stakeholder also includes the government, the society where the organization works, the media and press. So all these people have a stake in the particular company. If the company does not perform well, if there is a blast that happens inside a particular furnace, if there is a blast that happens inside a particular company, so many people will get affected because of that particular blast. Why? Because the company was not following some particular protocol. So these are all the stakeholders of the company, right? So there's a difference between stakeholder and shareholders. Now I hope you would have understood that triple bottom line, basically what it is trying to say is that it expects the organizations to be responsible to the stakeholders of the business and not just the shareholders. So related concepts are full cost accounting, social entrepreneurialism, and social and natural capital. So these are the various things that are being discussed when we're talking about triple bottom line. Now production is important, but at the same time saving the environment is also important, and the companies are now realizing you'll be look around yourself, and you'll find that most of the companies which used to produce black and gray kind of smoke, today they have turned into white. It's white smoke in today's date that comes out of these emission from the companies. So the top companies in terms of absolute CSR spending, this is data which is around 2 to 3 years back, but still Reliance Industries was at the top at a CSR expenditure of 651 crores, NTPC at 491 crores. So the companies are already spending, and the trend is being increased because the government is now making it mandatory for the companies to spend in CSR, and that is why it becomes a very, very important topic for a manager, for a pursuing MBA graduate to understand what is the importance of CSR in today's date. Now coming to the definition, specifically we see that CSR as the voluntary actions that businesses can take over and above the compliance with minimum legal requirements. It is over and above the compliance with minimum legal requirements to address both the competitive interests. It has to address both the profits part of it and the interests of the wider society also. It cannot just be focusing either on the society. If it is just focusing on the society, it will become an NGO. It will be a not-for-profit company, and when it focuses only on the profits, probably it will impact and harm the society. So this particular definition is all comprehensive about CSR. Now, what are the key points that we can find in that definition of CSR? Corporates have responsibility that go beyond the production of good. It is not just about producing goods and services for a profit. The businesses have to go beyond that particular production. Now, these responsibilities involve helping solve important social problems. So apart from whatever your business you're doing, apart from the profits that you're generating, you also have to solve the important social problems that probably you have created because of your particular production activity, your particular pollutants that you have created. You are creating those kind of social problems, and as a business you have to resort and solve those particular problems also. Corporations have broader constituency than stockholders alone. We have talked about this, that it is not just the stockholders which are important in today's date. You also have to address the stakeholders. Corporations have impact that go beyond simple marketplace transactions. So it is now no more simple now. Corporations have to ensure that it is not just a buying and selling thing that is happening. They have to look for the societal impact that they are creating and the societal goodwill that they are doing on the ground. Last one, corporations serve wider range of human values that can be captured by the sole focus of, it's not just about the economic value. We're talking over here about the human values also that the companies must address.